All right. Episode 2.
Episode 2, número 2.
Número 2. That's the first Spanish we've used on this podcast.
Did we use any Spanish?
I don't think so. Completely just went over my head. Completely forgot.
Okay, well. Buenas noches, buenos días. Las tenga usted muy buenas. I don't know. There's some more Spanish. There you go.
Gracias por acompañarnos.
I don't know when you will be seeing this episode, whether it's in the morning, in the afternoon, at night.
Truman Show. In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
We did episode 1, and we got really quick into a conversation that if you were there, hopefully it was a good time for you. Hopefully you got something out of it. Mm-hmm. But we did not talk at all about the podcast, and so we thought we would take this episode to
we just had the pod. We just did it. Like it wasn't even a thought in our minds. Like we need to let people know, why are we doing this, and who are we, and what is this about?
Yeah, who we are, you know?
We just kind of figured you're going to join in. You're in it. You're in it. You're in this adventure with us.
We're in this together. We're in this together. We're in this together. And that's kind of why. So in the first episode, we did not know yet. Well, when we recorded it, we didn't know what the name of the podcast would be. Of course, you've known what it is the whole time because you saw the title of it when you clicked on it to listen. But This is the first time that we're able to really kind of talk about what the podcast is, because we hadn't landed on a name yet and that sort of thing, kind of deliberating between some different things. So the name of the podcast, are we good? Are we in agreement?
Yeah, I think so. Let's do it.
You sure? There's no turning back.
Do it.
Once we tell them.
Hey, it's okay. Let's do it.
They totally already know, which is ridiculous. It's like you guys are way ahead of us.
We're like building the suspense, but you already know.
We're building the suspense for something that you don't care at all about because you already know. So we decided to call this the Let's Be Family podcast. Let's Be Family for short.
Yes.
LBF. It's not the greatest. Not the greatest initials, but yeah, so we'll talk a little bit. We'll tell you guys a little bit about why we're choosing to call it that and what this is really all about. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our heart behind this podcast, why we started it. And yeah, and a big part of it is kind of what you said a minute ago, Denisse, just about how we're along for this ride together. We're in this together. I think that obviously family is important to us. Yes. Obviously, like our family is...
Obviously, number one, probably we should point out the big elephant in the room that we are married.
We are married.
It is not an elephant, but I'm just saying that's how people say it, right? But so Duke and I have been married for about 16 years.
16 years.
This year. We have a beautiful family. We have a 13-year-old. That's crazy that we have a teenager.
It's ridiculous.
Really crazy. And he is amazing. And he is taller than his mother. Thank the Lord for that.
Like by a lot. It's not like he just squeaked by.
No.
He's been taller than you. What how long has he been taller than you? When did was it 11 or 12? I think it's
probably been about I would say maybe 4 months.
No.
Longer than that? Whoa, that was
so
really...
wait, hold on.
In November last year when we went to the doctor, he was not quite there. He was about, but he wasn't there. So it's actually been since the beginning of the year that he's gotten taller. And
okay, well,
I think it was about
corrected.
maybe...
I didn't know you were going to bring in like medical stuff into this.
I'm just stating the facts. That's what happens when you have mom brain. You have all these little details in your mind.
Yeah.
Like, archived in there. I was complimented. I want to take it as a compliment. We were at the store. I went to get him a sweatshirt. The customer that was in front of us that was, waiting at the checkout was like, "Is that your brother? You guys brother and sister?"
Nice.
I was like, "Yes.
Good for you.
Nailed it." I was like, "No, this is my son." And he was like, wow, like you look like his sister. Like you both
Yeah.
look really young. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for
Good
giving
for
me
you.
awesome genes. Thank you, Jesus. Too. I guess we should thank the Lord overall because he's the one who gave it to me, right? But so that was cool. But yeah, Elijah is 13. He is taller than me. And then we have Josiah, who is 9 years old, and he is also amazing. He's also getting taller. I think he's getting there. And then we have our beautiful Sophia, my little mini me.
Mm-hmm.
So we are family, but we also have family that we have acquired over the years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, friends and people that just have walked life with us.
Yes.
And to us, they are family.
There's Jesus family, which
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah.
Of all of our Jesus family. We've been into like inviting people into our family,
lives.
like inviting
Yes.
people in and considering them family and trying to make them feel like family. I think that that's a big part of what discipleship is. I think discipleship is more than just teaching somebody about the ways of the Lord. I think that a big part of discipleship, or at least I think personally, and this is just a personal thing, I think that the way that discipleship really works the best is when we invite people in to participate in our lives with us. We kind of let them in behind the curtain, so to speak, and we have that openness, that vulnerability, that connectedness. And that's really honestly a big part of our heart behind this podcast, and why we chose to call this is because we want to build some kind of community with those that are listening. We want to be open. We want to be vulnerable with you guys in our discussions, the things that we talk about. We want to grow together. We want to learn together. We want to maybe even, be messy together sometimes, as family can definitely be. And I just think the idea of, inviting people in to be connected with us and to share, family with people, to grow in family. Yeah.
Most definitely.
I don't know if that makes sense, what I said.
No, maybe. I was going to say you just went so deep into starting to talk about discipleship. And
yeah.
Which is awesome. It's great.
That's
great. It's great. It's just, So let's be family.
Let's be family, guys.
I hope that this is a place where people get encouraged, where people feel celebrated, where we can talk about God and encourage each other and help each other grow. And I'm excited. I'm excited for this journey.
We'll have serious moments. We'll have funny moments. We'll have silly moments. We'll talk about our lives. We'll talk about the Bible. We'll talk about Jesus. We'll talk about family. We'll talk about marriage, relationships, all kinds of stuff. And we just appreciate you guys for giving us a chance here and being along for the ride with us. Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. No, I think that we answer the why. Why are we doing this?
Why we're doing this.
We mention who we are briefly, I guess.
Yeah. Do you want to mention any of the other podcast names? Like we thought of it cool. we thought of a bunch of different names, and we were kind of deliberating. There were some that we didn't take seriously at all. There were some others that we had seriously considered. And I don't know, do you want to mention any of those? I know one of the other names that we were thinking about that was actually kind of we had almost made up our minds about it, and it was calling it the Jesus and Family Podcast. I like the idea. I think we landed on Let's Be Family ultimately because, again, I feel like it's our desire is to be connected with you guys, to bring the listeners into this, and to have a community that we can build together. Like
an invitation without asking a question.
Yeah, without being obnoxious.
Yeah,
Do you want to be my friend?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that one of the things that God is doing today, or one of the things that I just really believe that is on the heart of the Father, is restoring to the church this this understanding, and really this revelation of the fact that we are the family of God.
Yes.
And when we see somebody that's that's lost, when we see somebody who, maybe isn't living up to their full potential, when we see somebody who has not come to the saving knowledge of Jesus yet,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, man, I want that person to be part of my family.
Yeah.
I want that person to know how good God is, how
That's
good
right.
our Heavenly Father is.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I just love this idea of love. Hey guys, like, let's all be family. Let's figure out how to get everybody around us to be part of our Jesus family, and
Yeah.
to be connected together.
Yeah.
And
And I mean, we're not the only ones out there doing this, but we felt that whatever our part is to play in creating this content and putting this podcast out to reach to the people that are meant to reach and the people that are going to listen, that's our response to something that God had put in our hearts for a very long time.
yeah, absolutely.
So we might not have all the answers either, and that's
I
okay.
promise you we don't.
And that's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Mhm.
And I think it's we just wanted to hear our heart and know, hey, we're here. We're more than willing to walk with you and find those answers and help you find the answers. And so I think it's gonna be great.
Yep. You had a good name. You thought of a good name that we liked. Do you remember?
I don't know which one. I had one that was like, woo.
Yeah, that one. Probably that one.
You say it because I'm like, I don't know which one you're talking about.
So Denisse had this idea. Just so everybody's clear, this was Denise's idea. Denisse had
let
this
me clear
idea
it out.
to call it WTF, What the Faith.
Yep.
Which I thought was
I thought it was cool.
very fun.
Yeah.
We thought about it. We thought about going with that one for a while.
But I didn't want people to get confused
Mhm.
or be turned away from that either, because to some people that might be too like, whoa, hold up,
Yeah, I mean, I think they'd get over it, but I think that, yeah, I don't know. I wanted to go with something that's just I almost said generic. That's not what I mean. Generic enough.
Generic's always cheaper.
I'm
just kidding.
like broad. That's what I'm looking for. Broad enough that we're not
Just
locked into a box. I mean, we just want to be able
Yeah.
to talk about anything that we want to talk about.
Mhm.
And again, the whole idea of family, like, we've been doing this thing with our family, with our kids. Like, we've been trying to just do things to be fun, to be silly.
Yes.
We had a hot karaoke session earlier
This
tonight.
afternoon. So my son Elijah, he's really into theater and he's really into singing. And those who know Duke and I, well, we both, that Duke plays guitar and we both sing together. So
Don't worry, we will not be doing karaoke on the podcast.
No. I wanted to have something where we can build his confidence, but also I want him to learn how to laugh at himself. And also, I don't mind them laughing at me.
I brought that up for something.
Oh, you totally forgot.
I think I was just talking about how we like to do
Fun things. Yeah.
But why? Why did I even bring that up?
Well, because we're talking about the names and how you want the name to be broad enough to be able to talk about not just family and not just fun and not just Jesus.
Yeah.
I love Jesus. I'm not saying if I said it at the end of the sentence, it's not because he's less important. Why are you laughing at me?
Like, God, we don't want to have to talk about Jesus all the time.
No.
That's how it sounded.
No, we always end up talking about God.
Yeah.
It always comes up because he's just an integral part of our lives. So
yeah, he's the whole thing.
So I use this little tool. I think everybody knows it by now, right? So ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be
I'm such a big
funny
fan.
to see what names ChatGPT comes up with. So one of them was Jesus and Jokes, Millennial and Gen Z Family Banter.
All right, look.
Because
if we had called the podcast Millennial and Gen Z, even though I think they're Elijah's Gen Alpha. He's not even Gen Z, so
Yeah.
could have called it Millennial and Gen Alpha family banter.
That's what it says.
That's insane.
Jesus and jokes. That
Jesus
first
and
part
Jokes
was
is-
interesting
Jesus and
to
Jokes
me.
is- oh, that's that's not two different names. That was one name.
No, it's one name. It's like Jesus and jokes. And then the tag, it's like the semicolon, Millennial and Gen Z family banter. It's like one whole name.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Jesus and jokes. I think that's something that maybe we can start a little segment of our podcast. Talk about Jesus and jokes. I think that's fun. That one caught my attention. Let's see another one. Faith fusion. Millennial and Gen Z family blends.
That's horrible.
That's not your cup of tea. Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Fusion. I mean, fusion is a pretty cool word, I would say.
Fusion is a cool word.
But when I think about
what word I've
blend,
always liked?
when I think about blend, it makes me think about like smoothies or like soup.
Well, when
like
I hear
food,
fusion, I always
coffee,
think of food.
and fusion too makes me think of food. So I
We
don't
love
know.
food. We
do love food in this
You
family.
know what word
for
I really
sure.
have always loved is the word fuselage, which there's no way to incorporate that
Fusilaje?
into a podcast. But yeah, like the body of like a
the
airplane.
body of an airplane.
Is a fuselage. I've always loved that word.
You're such
Rolls
a
off the
nerd.
tongue. I'm a nerd.
That's okay. All right. Do you want to hear another one?
Yeah, I mean,
This one, I would think it would be maybe a little controversial. Christ and Chill. Gen
Christ
Z
and Chill.
Family Edition.
is that like Netflix and chill?
Yeah, I mean that's what when I read it, I was like, that's too close to comfort for that.
Netflix and chill doesn't. Yeah,
No.
It's got a deeper meaning than
Exactly.
Yeah. Sure, everybody knows
Exactly.
what it means. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, probably not
interesting.
that one.
No, definitely not that one. This one was interesting too. Spiritual sparks in family life. Nope.
No.
Sparks.
We saw some great fireworks.
Yeah, I was
last night,
going
by
to
the
say,
way.
oh, they were awesome. That finale was amazing.
So here's the thing. Let me just say this because we saw some fireworks. We went to a baseball game. The Sugarland Space Cowboys. They're the
Shout
AAA
out to the
affiliate
Space Cowboys.
of the
It was a great
the
game.
Houston Astros, and so
Yeah.
they're real. We live in Sugarland, so I actually went twice this weekend. Took Josiah on Friday night, and then we all went back on Sunday night. It was
Mhm.
awesome. They won both games. They're having a great season, and it was a really, really good time. Both nights got fireworks. Both nights.
Yeah.
And the fireworks are like really, really amazing. And so here's the thing that I realized, Denisse. I realized because I feel like when I was a kid, they would do, especially 4th of July was the only time that we would see fireworks. But
Mhm.
I remember in our neighborhood, they would do, the city would put on this fireworks show, and it was always a big deal. Like people would go, down to the park by my house, and we'd kind of,
Like
you'd
in
camp
Jersey?
out, set up blankets and chairs and all that kind of stuff. And the fireworks show, I remember like it being like an hour, but give me like 5 to 7 minutes of just like
Good
really
fireworks.
good, like
Yeah.
hard hitting fireworks, and then an epic finale. But like the kind of thing where it's like, oh, this might be the finale, but then it's like, no, it's
Yeah.
not. That's actually just like the middle of the thing, and then the finale is just like unreal.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how many fireworks, like how many individual things are being shot off throughout a thing,
Yeah.
but I would rather see that in like a 5-minute window or, a short period of time as opposed to spread out over 30 to 40 minutes or whatever. Cause I can see, I see like 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the most of just like really excellent fireworks. And it's like, all right, I'm good. I can move on and I
Yeah.
feel good inside.
I love fireworks. I wanted fireworks for our wedding, remember? And we couldn't have fireworks.
Yeah, we tried.
Yeah.
We
but
tried. Dan tried.
It was good. It was really nice. I definitely enjoy that part of the game, just kind of like
Mhm.
culminating it and ending like that. So it is pretty nice. So
And
that
then we
name
went on the
definitely-
field. Josiah ran the
Yeah.
bases, which was cool.
yeah, he got to do the batting cage, which
Mhm.
is cool, and he's getting into baseball. So hopefully this year he'll play the season.
Mhm.
So it'll be fun. Baseball's not that big in Mexico.
Baseball's pretty big in Mexico, but in the north.
Well, not where I lived. But yeah, this name, Spiritual Sparks, that just kind of made me think of fireworks.
Spiritual Sparks is so lame.
Yeah.
Spiritual Sparks.
Spiritual Sparks.
If we were to call this podcast Spiritual Sparks, I would not blame you for not listening. I'm just going to be honest with you. I wouldn't even know how to tell people to listen to this podcast. Anyway.
So this one was another one that I thought it was kind of cool, but at the same time, I was like, wow, this is like really long. And it sounds like my oldest would say oldish.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like old people, Mom. It's generational grace, navigating life, and spiritual growth.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a book.
Like a book. Yes.
It's not a bad book title.
I like the idea of navigating, and I actually thought, like, when I read that, I was like, ooh, maybe it would be cool to name it Navigating or Navigate. But then I thought maybe people will think about, I don't know, like airplanes or boats or navigate. Okay.
I mean,
I don't know. Like I said, maybe my mind is very literal with some of these.
There was a name that I've been carrying for years before I started the other podcast that I have a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about calling it, Really Good News, because of the idea of good news, like the gospel.
Like the gospel's good
talking
news.
about good news.
Yeah.
But, just calling it Really Good News. And so like the news thing as a podcast, it makes it look like it's a news thing, like where you're talking about.
So people think that you're related. Like broadcasting the news.
Yeah, I didn't want people to think I was broadcasting. I didn't want people to think I was doing like a news show. But that idea of really good news. So then I thought of ridiculously good news, which I like better.
That's cool, yeah.
And then we thought about calling it. We didn't really think about doing this, but we briefly discussed the Totally Legit podcast.
Oh yeah.
This is like,
but then that's like the 90s. Like I think like only people in the 90s would know. Like
I'm stuck there. I'm still stuck there.
Yeah. I'm still stuck in the 90s too. In certain things. Yep. Especially when we're doing karaoke. Like I'm like wanting to do karaoke, and I'm like, ooh, let's sing this song.
Mm-hmm.
And then my kids are like, who are these people? Like we don't listen to it.
We did sing some "I Want It That Way." Tonight.
Yeah, we went back to the Backstreet Boys for sure. So
Cranberries.
That's definitely, some cranberry there.
Well, so, again, we're not gonna do karaoke on the podcast.
No,
so
no.
Don't worry.
Just saying.
Yeah.
And then this one made me think like this would be a picture or like a T-shirt that I was seeing like Hobby Lobby or something like this. It's called Love, Laughter, and Light: Family and Spiritual Conversations.
So here's the thing, like ChatGPT doesn't know how to create things that are Christian sounding without making them like the most religious cliche thing ever. Yeah. For sure.
I don't know. I'm just that love, laughter, and light. Like, I just thought like, ooh, that would be a good T-shirt. Thank you, ChatGPT. You gave us some good names.
No,
there.
they didn't. Don't lie.
I mean, some good names to like talk about things.
Don't encourage this behavior. It gave us something to talk about, but it did not give us good names. Let's be honest.
No, that's why we didn't choose them.
I remember I consulted ChatGPT, and it gave me like the same kind of stuff. It gave me one called Holy Hilarity. I was like,
okay.
Oh my God. Anyway, so we're calling it, or we have called the podcast, Let's Be Family Podcast.
Let's Be Family. I'm just reading this other names called Beyond the Surface: Family, Fun, and Spiritual Depth.
Beyond the Surface makes me feel like Morgan Freeman should be narrating. It's also pretty late. It's after midnight. We should be sleeping.
Yeah, we should be going to bed.
So,
but anyway,
anything else? You want to wrap this one up?
Yeah.
Or do we want to?
No, let's wrap it up.
All right, we'll wrap this one up. We just wanted to spend some time talking to you guys about who we are, what we do, and why this podcast exists, and just give you an idea of what you can expect from future episodes. We're going to
Yeah.
have fun. We're going to talk about some serious stuff. We're going to play some games. I think we'll definitely have some guests on.
I know this is just episode 2, but if any topic or idea comes to your mind and you want to share with us, I would love to hear that, and I would love for you to share with us, and we could definitely approach it or talk about it. So by the time this episode airs, we'll have our socials ready. And so you'll be able to either, can send us an email or you can send us a message through our social media and just say, hey, how about you guys talk about this? Or I would like to hear you guys on this.
Yep. Don't forget, like, subscribe, leave a comment or a review. All that helps us out very, very much. So we appreciate you guys so much for that. Anything else?
Let's be family.
Let's be family. That was good.